For this particular story, let's say I worked at Burger King. It was overnight. It was just me and this guy in the back. He didn't speak a word of English, so I got to get away with saying a lot of things he wouldn't otherwise. Lady comes through the drive-thru in the middle of the night, rattling off her order. I'm bringing it in as fast as I can. Read it back to her, and apparently I missed something. She yells at me. "You are the worst at your job. I can't believe you still work here." And I was like, "Alright, have a nice night." She's like, "I haven't finished ordering yet." They have. "You can't do this. I used to work in fast food. I know. I know." "Yeah, I can. We reserve the right to refuse service to anybody. That's you." I have a friend who works at the Dairy Queen here in town. They don't have any hamburgers. Like, that's their whole slogan is, hot eats, cool treats. You didn't meet half of the requirements. I don't like their marketing campaign anyhow. The ice cream plus natural disaster is delicious. They have the blizzards, they have the earthquake, brownie earthquake. If I hear earthquake, my mouth should not water. I know exactly how ice cream cones came about too. Some guys were hanging around eating ice cream out of a bowl or cup, what have you. They didn't have ice cream cones yet. Ice cream is so good, man, it would be good on anything. Anything like what? Stale waffles. At another job I had in retail, this video game store. There was a lock on the front door that bolted up instead of down, and on really windy nights it would shake loose and fall, and the door would be open. So they installed a fence, and there's also a fence between the game store and the video store, and a false ceiling just about top of fence level where they put all the security cameras and the light fixtures, and a cop drives by in the middle of a windy night and sees the door blowing open. And he knows he's going to bust a punk trying to rob this game store. So he comes in and he sees the fence, and he climbs over the fence and he gets his belt buckle caught on the top of the false ceiling, breaks it, and he climbs down. He looks around, he doesn't see any criminals. So he looks at the other fence and he's like, there's no way I'm climbing that, so he pulls out the bolt cutters. I get a call at 5 in the morning. I drive into work, my boss is there, the cops are there, they explain the whole story to me. And I'm looking at the fence and there's this overzealous, fat-ass, cop-shaped hole. I went to the Safeway to get some breakfast, and maybe an I'm sorry card, but they did not make a card for this particular event. I got fired. My grandfather set me up with a job in town. His friend owned the restaurant. The restaurant owner's son worked there, and he behaved exactly as you would imagine the restaurant owner's son would act. He was a douchebag. So I was trolling him one day. I was in the kitchen. I saw a slug on the wall under the sink. Come up to the front, just talking to a customer. I don't want to alarm them. "Kelsey, there's a wild animal in the kitchen." "There is not a wild animal in the kitchen, Nick." "Yeah, there is. You left the back door open." "Nick, there's no wild animal." "There's a wild animal in the kitchen." Now the customers can hear me. You can't ignore it anymore. I take him into the kitchen and point under the sink because there's nothing there. The slug, Nick? You're talking about the slug. Have you ever seen a tame slug? It couldn't harm anything anyway, Nick. What if he snuck up on you while you were sleeping?